गुरु भाई बोलिए तो আমরা কমার্সের ছাত্র আপনারা তো কমার্সের Good evening, everyone. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us to the end. Honorable Knowledge, your host for the evening. My name is Auditra Boshat and I am from Bangladesh. Dear IGP Knowledge Seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million knowledge seekers in 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 100 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP is the training faculty for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates in the global labor market by providing professionals qualifications. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work and reputable. We serve students and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So effective training and consulting to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our local service locally, nationally, and internationally to job students, job seekers, job holders, and also for campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the most famous online institutes from all over the world. Our education is not a business product. It's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to serve more 100 premium service for free like create one portfolio website, resume builder, couple letter, and motivation letter. World knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning games, website, free websites, and many more. We have to empower to learn to meet their expectations and dreams and becomes highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinars, and offline online for youth and learners by professionals, trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the educations of their abilities and ensure excellent and in-depth instruction. We arranged with qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extended free service to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliations with with union organization. In 70 different countries, virtual mouse signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and innovators. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love, light, and vision. So we try to understand the needs of the next generation and will serve them good research and practiced method. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent our diversity. We represent more diversity and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality service and continual improvement. Individual who seek information can improve their skill levels and values. Moving, we move to the next. Let me remind, don't forget to share and tag and mention your friend in the comment box. Moving to the next. Let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Moving to the next. With your continuous support, we already completed 1310 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next. With your continuous support, we already completed 1310 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1311 program. Name is Social and our today's speaker ma'am is Roma San Buenaventura Evin. Before I hand over the stage to ma'am, want to share a little bit about our speaker. She is an assistant professor one, universities of Caris Mega City, Cameron Su. Now, very important moment for me. I wanted to invite our IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. Hello. Am I audible?
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you once again for inviting me in this speakership opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the stage is yours. Please, you
Thank you
can
so
start.
much. Yeah. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Thank you, ma'am.
And again, yes po. And again, before I start my presentation, I just want to greet all those fellow educators who are watching in this live um, seminar or discussion about, of course, education. And I hope that at the end of my presentation, you'll be able to get something, especially about my topic, which is social emotional learning, or we can also call this as social learning. So once again, I am Roma S. Abin from the Philippines, and I'll be your presenter for this session in IGP. So so to expect, okay, from my talk this evening. Well, I will share to you thoughts, discussions about social and emotional learning in education. And number two, we will be talking about benefits of social emotional learning to teachers and students. And we will also be talking about effective SEL or social emotional learning strategies that you can apply in your classes. Okay, so in this picture, the picture was taken from Limono, credit to Getty Images, stack.photo.com. So in that picture, you can see that this is the reality that we are facing right now. So today's schools are increasingly multicultural and multilingual. So we have these students coming from different cultures. They have their own different mother tongues and languages and everything. So with this, we are so aware that we are dealing with students from diverse social and economic backgrounds. So they are students from different social and economic backgrounds. Okay? So with that, we also know that our students have different motivation, okay, for engaging in learning. So they engage coming from their own um, motivation or engagement. And of course, with this, they also behave accordingly or positively or negatively, as well as they perform also academically different from each other. So they are like um, various or diverse. And with this, with all of these things, we know that they can really feel anxiety. So they can be anxious. So um, they can be so pressured inside their classes. And with this, we can also determine if the students that we have are experiencing anxiety. So on your screen, you can see there the different signs. For example, we have the first one appear more clingy than normal, and then restless, and we also have complaint of stomach ache, so they are feeling anxious because of that, and also display changes in their eating and sleeping habits, and also express negative thoughts when it comes to their readings or classes, and then get upset or angry easily, and also they have um hearts of unexplained crying, so they cry without any reasons. And also, they struggle in their concentration when it comes to their studies. And these are the signs that we can really identify that the children or the students that we are dealing with are experiencing really with anxiety. And with this, we will now understand the value or the importance of SEL or the social emotional learning. Okay, so SEL provides a foundation for safe and positive learning, and it will also help us enhance the students' ability or our students' ability to succeed in school, in their careers, and of course, in totality in their life. So, what is now SEL? So when we talk about SEL or social emotional learning, or for short we call that SEL or SEL, it is a methodology that helps students of all ages to better think or comprehend their emotions, to feel those emotions fully and demonstrate empathy for others. So the reference of this definition are also visible here on my screen. So you can just check that for more information about SEL. So this is SEL. So SEL really is a methodology that we can use, a strategy that we can apply in our class lectures, discussions that will be merely focusing on the emotion of our students. Okay, so how to help them cope up with the diversity, the different situations inside the classes that really hinders them from paying attention in our discussion. So there's a research that shows that SEL not only improves achievement, but it also increases pro-social behavior. So what do we mean by pro-social? When we talk about pro-social, this pertains to kindness, sharing, and empathy. So these are what we call pro-social. And that's according to Durlac in the year 2011. And according to him, effective SEL involves coordinated classroom, school-wide, and then family and community practices. So for us to better understand the SEL or the social emotional learning theory, this theory tells us about the process through which individuals learn and apply a set of social, emotional, and related skills, attitudes, behaviors, and values that help direct students. So this is really the importance of this method, because we really need to pay attention to the emotion of our students so that they can really perform well in their classes. They can really participate well in the discussion. And when we talk about SEL, it includes the thoughts, of course, the feelings, okay, the actions in ways that enable them to succeed in school. So this is very important when it comes to our classes. Um, we must be familiar with the five social emotional learning competencies, because under SEL there are five competencies that we really need to address. We really need to train, of course, ourselves as teacher, and we also need to address these things to our students. So according to Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, or CASEL. So this is the organization that is really into SEL, or social emotional learning theory or practices inside the classes. According to them, SEL involves five core competencies that can be applied in both the classroom or even at home, and in students or even in the community. So we're talking about SEL doesn't limit the student only inside the classroom, because when us, teachers like us, if we were going to develop the SEL, if we were going to apply the methodology of SEL in our discussion, we can really change the individual to become really an asset to our community, because they can really perform well. So we will be discussing about the five core competencies. And we will start now with self-awareness. So according to that, okay, when we talk about self-awareness in relation to SEL, it means understanding one's own emotions, personal goals, and values. So we will always start with ourselves. Okay, so we will guide the student to really get to know their own self. So accurately assessing, so we will help them to really assess accurately their own strengths, limitations, and then having positive mindsets and possessing a well-grounded sense of self-efficacy and optimism. What is self-efficacy? When we talk about self-efficacy, it pertains to the individual's belief in his or her capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce specific performance attainments. This definition came from Bandura in the year 1997, a well-known theorist when it comes to education. And in relation to self-awareness, it means, or it gives us a knowledge or an awareness that talking about self-awareness would require high, will require the ability to recognize how thoughts, feelings, and actions are interconnected. So talking about self-awareness, we should guide the students to be able to determine um, the feelings that they are feeling inside their classroom towards other people, towards their own self, towards their family or anyone around them. And then they should connect the feelings to their actions. So they should be responsible enough to determine why did they react that way, and so on. And of course, they should be able to present or to think the interconnectedness of the three: their thoughts, their feelings, and the reaction or the actions. So this is all about self-awareness. And when we talk about self-awareness, it will always allow the student the opportunity to get to know their self better. So everything should start within their own self before going outside. Okay? Now we have the self-management. So after knowing their own self, they will now start to learn how to manage their own thoughts, their own personality, their own self. So talking about self-management, it means that these are the skills and attitudes that facilitate the ability to regulate one's own emotions and behaviors. So the ability to delay the gratification, to manage their stress, to control their impulses, and persevere through challenges in order for them to achieve their personal and educational goals. So we are educators. We know that these things can really become hindrances to the success of our students. So we should help them manage these things that they are feeling or they are thinking. And when it comes to self-management, it means that we should we should teach our students to take control and have the ownership of their own thoughts, their own emotions, their own actions in different situations. So they should learn to manage those things properly. And next to self-management is what we call social awareness. So from the inside, so once they mastered now the self-awareness and they know how to manage now their own emotions, thoughts, and actions, this is now the time that they will apply that in relation to their surroundings, to the society. So when we talk about social awareness, this pertains to the ability to understand, empathize, and feel compassion for those with different backgrounds or cultures. This is very important because at the start of my presentation, I mentioned that we are now dealing with diverse students. We are now dealing with multicultural classroom. So if we are handling like 50 students inside, 30 students, 20 students, they came from different backgrounds. So they are multicultural. Oh, so with this, social awareness gives them the understanding of differences and supports. So these are the things that are connected to social awareness. So when we talk about social awareness, it's guiding the students to put oneself in the shoes of others, in the shoes of another person who may be from a different background or culture. So when we talk about social awareness, we should teach them to act with empathy and in an ethical manner. So when they do this inside the classroom, of course they can bring that outside. So inside their home, in school, and of course in their community. So that is social awareness. Then next to social awareness is what we call relationship skills. So this is also the the most important thing that will follow the social management or the social awareness, I mean. When we talk about relationship skills, it helps the students establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships and to act in accordance with social norms. So they know the social norms, they will act on it accordingly, and they will always maintain good relationship. So with relationship skills, we are now guiding them to really communicate clearly and to listen actively and effectively to other people so they can now start to cooperate, resisting so they can resist if they don't like the idea, and so on and so forth. And also they can resisting inappropriate social pressure. So if they think they can now identify if these things are not good for them, they will resist. Okay, and also negotiating conflict constructively and seeking help when it is needed. So this SEL will help our students to really find good solution to whatever problem or conflicts that they might be facing. So talking about relationship skills, it builds and maintains healthy relationships with people from a diverse range of backgrounds. So this is all about the relationship skills. And with this, we should also make the student understand the value of listening. So listening to and being able also to communicate with others and peacefully resolving conflict and knowing when to ask for or offer a help. So in relation to this, because we are talking about SEL, we can really guide our students of these things that they should always resolve conflict and they should know where to place themselves when it comes to offering help or asking anything from other people. Okay? And next to this is the last core of SEL, which is responsible decision making, which is really important. And this is the last core of SEL. So when we talk about responsible decision making, it's learning how to make constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions across diverse settings. So if we train them, if we apply the methodology of SEL, we can really guide the students how to interact and how to deal with diverse community or diverse group of people. So it is the ability to consider ethical standards, safety concerns, accurate behavioral norms or for risky behaviors, the health and well-being of self and others, and to make realistic evaluation of various actions consequences. So they will always put into consideration the welfare of other people as well as their own self. So they will be able to really decide um, critically and wisely in all the undertakings of their lives. So when we talk about responsible decision making, this is guiding our students to choose how to act or respond to a situation based on learned behaviors, based on the behaviors that they learned around them. So, of course, using ethics and then prioritizing the safety of other people and also their own self, and then weighing the consequences, knowing the consequences of their actions, and the well-being of others as well as their own self. So these are the five core of social emotional learning methodology that we should always remember, because these are really helpful in our classes, also in guiding, most especially in guiding our students. So, to give you now an illustration of the main thoughts when it comes to SEL, so social emotional learning will always have the self. So, first prioritize the self of the student, the person whom you will be teaching, whom you will be guiding. You need to be sure that they can really assess their own self properly, get to know their own self. And next to self is now the social. So, the social emotional learning will always um, cover ourselves and the social, and this of course for the better community, for the welfare of our society, for us to be able really to succeed in life and even in living our purpose in our community. So these are really important. So when we talk about SEL or SEL, um, effective social emotional learning program should incorporate the four elements. So the acronym for the four elements is SAFE. So it's really a positive word. So when it comes to cell, it's safe. So what are those? So S stands for sequenced. When we talk about sequenced, connected and coordinated sets of activities to foster the skills development. So inside the classroom, you should always um, be sure that the activities that you are giving the students are really connected to each other, they are properly coordinated, and the students are really aware of the connectedness of the activities. And they should be aware of the skills that they need to develop. And next to that is what we call active. So this stands for letter A. So active forms of learning to help students master the new skills that you would want to teach them. And for F, we have focused. So emphasis on developing the personal and social skills. This is very important. Okay. And last but not the least, we have the E, which stands for explicit, meaning to say targeting specific social and emotional skills. So we should determine what are the social skills that we want to develop among our students, and what are the emotional skills that are connected to those social skills. Okay, so these are the things that we need to consider in when it comes to the SEL program. So what is social emotional learning and why it matters? Why is it important? Why does it matter inside our classes or in us as educators, professionals? When we talk about SEL or social emotional learning, it helped the students better understand their thoughts and emotions to become more self-aware. So this is really important, the SEL. And it helped us develop more empathy for others within their community and the world around them. So we really need to make our students be empathetic to other people, because we should always consider, excuse me, or we should not forget that one of the purposes of education is, of course, to create a better individual, a better man that can really help in the progress of our community. So SEL is really important. This is an important method that we should really use or apply in our classes if we would want to produce that kind of individual. So next we have, students are more successful in school and daily life when first they know and can manage themselves. So by the help of SEL, we can make them know their own self. We can also make them manage their own self. And with this, they can really perform well, not only in school, but even in their lives. And of course, they understand the perspectives of others and relate effectively with them. So if we will be able to really apply SEL methodology, we can make them understand other people. And of course, with this, they can really minimize, or they cannot be involved in conflicts with other people, because they are empathetic and they can understand well. And they can make sound choices about personal and social decisions. And this is very important. So remember the needs of an individual. So this is now one of the highest needs that we should really develop, or skills on how we can really make mature decision. And when it comes to the benefits of SEL, it is stated that more positive attitudes toward oneself, others, and tasks, including enhanced self-efficacy, confidence, persistence, empathy, connection, and commitment to school, and a sense of purpose. So if the purpose of the students are clear, and they were able to determine what's their purpose what's their purpose in life, they can really act on it. So SEL can help us giving those kind of ideas to our students. So another benefit of SEL is more positive social behaviors and relationship with peers and adults, which is really important nowadays. So with all the advancement that we are experiencing, with all the multi cultural aspects, diversity aspects, we should really make our students create a positive relationship, positive behavior with other people, because that's really important. So with the help of SEL, we can achieve that. And SEL can help us reduce conduct problems and risk-taking behavior. So if we will be able to apply SEL methodology in our classes, we can limit, or we can help our students not to engage in conflicts, in problems, especially if school related. And when we talk about risk-taking behavior, they will stop taking risk, but rather they will be able to decide maturely. Of course, they know the consequences of their actions, and they can decide maturely by weighing all of the situations. So this is because of SEL. And of course, with the help of SEL, there can be a decreased emotional distress. So they can lessen the feeling of anxiety. So no stress at all to our students. And it can improve the test scores, grades, and attendance. So if our students are so relaxed, so calm, they are not feeling so anxious inside their classroom, they understand each other very well, and they can really cooperate, they can collaborate properly with their classmates, with their teachers. Of course, they can really perform well in our classes. They can really get a high grade. Okay, so these are the benefits of SEL. And another is that with the help of SEL, there can be a greater social and emotional competence, which can increase the likelihood of high school graduation. So if you nourish them emotionally and socially, of course, they will be more motivated to finish and to get degree up until college. So this is very important. And with this, they can also be ready to think, to dream high, and they can really plan out their education. They can be successful in their careers, and they can really have or create a positive family and work relationships, better mental health, reduce criminal behavior, and engage citizenship. So imagine if we will be able to create this kind of individuals from our classes, well, the world will really become a better place for all. Okay, so next let's have another set of benefits of SEL. So SEL helps us in increasing self-awareness, academic achievement, and positive behaviors both in and out of the classroom, and it's good. And it also helped the students better cope with emotional stress, solve problems, and avoid peer pressures to engage in harmful activities. So, because of the technology, the World Wide Web, and everything, students get a lot of information and a lot of emotions from time to time. So as teachers should manage those things, should process those things with the help of SEL methodology so that we can make our students become in facing all the endeavors that they have. So SEL is really a big help for us to apply in our classes. And with the help of SEL, students who are equipped to deal with problems that affect them on a personal level are then better able to navigate the pressure of adult life. So if we will start applying SEL methodology at the young age of our students, we are already creating an adult um who is really a responsible one and someone that the community can depend on in the future. So as early as now, so if you are handling like kindergarten students, elementary students, you'd start now using SEL methodology because you are contributing something good or better in our community. And SEL make the learning positive behaviors that extend beyond a purely academic level of achievement that can help the students develop the soft skills. So what are the soft skills that the SEL can develop? So these are teamwork, ability to understand others, and problem solving. These soft skills are really important. These are necessary nowadays that every individual must really achieve this, must have these soft skills. So with this, we should use really, or we can apply SEL methodology in our classes to help our students develop the soft skills that they will be needing in the future, especially if they are already working or they are part of the workforce. SEL can help set the students up for success throughout the school years and beyond. So if we apply SEL as early as now, the effect can be beyond their education journey. They can bring that when they became adults. So we now have this incorporating social emotional learning in the classroom. So how can we really incorporate social emotional learning in the classroom? First, as teachers, checking in with students to see how they feel. So on my screen, you can see there like posters, ask, asking the students how are you feeling today. So we have their different emojis facial expressions and everything. So teachers, please take note that it's really important to check the feeling of your students every day. It matters. In my experience, I'm handling college students. I'm handling higher education students. It is really important that at their young years, teenage years, nearing adulthood, so they are in their adolescence, it is really important to always ask them how are they feeling at the moment, because when you do that, you are making them feel that they are alive, that they matter to you as their teacher or as their professor. Okay? Next, provide students the opportunity to see how a tricky or troubling situation is being handled. So you can share to them your experiences about how do you handle problems, or you can present to them results of research, how a particular person handled a problem. So it matters most especially to our young minds, because they can get a lot of ideas how to really face big problems in the future. Okay, and we might not be aware that we also have students who are already dealing with serious problems. So it's important for us to give them knowledge and awareness about dealing with big problems. And also, utilizing students to role play in front of the class. So it's important for us to allow them to do role playing, to enjoy, to somehow play a particular role that they can relate to, or they can also associate with their classmates. So somehow this will give them an avenue to really get to know their skills and to apply their skills and to really perform well. So don't limit your students with the everyday and daily kind of activity. Give them also a chance to show their talents, to role play, everything. Then you need also to make sure that there is a place for students to calm down. So on my screen, you can see their pictures. So allow them to talk with each other, allow them to enjoy their own self. But if they want to just relax and be calm and read and talk to their classmates and use cell phone and everything. So in SEL methodology, it's important that you provide a place for the students to calm down, to relax. Okay? And do lots of partner activities. So it's very important. Allow yourself to talk to each other, to listen to each other, to compliment each other. Okay? And then to ask each other questions. These are really important. It's really important that um, you provide or you have that kind of activity wherein the student can really socialize. The student can really express his or herself to his or her friend or classmate. Okay? Because they can feel that they are important. Okay? And then they are not neglected as well. Then nurture a culture of kindness. So teachers, please be kind, especially nowadays. Um, it's important. It really matters to really be kind to our students. So as much as possible, have some activity wherein you can give them a token of kindness, a token of appreciation and everything to your students. So they are human beings. And they deserve kindness as teachers. And take note that a classroom should always be fun to our students. So always provide them kindness so that they can really enjoy, they can feel so comfortable inside their classes, and they will be so motivated to attend our class. And of course, build their social emotional vocabulary. So don't just feed their cognitive knowledge or vocabulary. Don't just feed their psychomotor vocabulary. We should also pay a lot of attention to their affective domains. So we should build their social emotional vocabulary. We should start making them understand the value of values, okay, to respect, to cooperate, to be kind, to be honest, to be responsible, socially responsive and responsible individual. So it's really a big help to them. And teach kids how to manage conflict with peer mediation. If you're going to observe the image that I have there, you can see their conflict. So, if the students are experiencing conflict inside their classes, next to conflict is what we call explore the issues. Teach them. You need to teach them this process. If there's conflict, next step to do is to explore the issues. What are the issues? Okay? The causes of the conflicts. And after exploring the issues, teach the student to start the conversation. Let them talk with someone who is in conflict with them. And after having the conversation, find find conversation ground. So settle for the same ground. And of course, discover solutions. Find solutions after settling down. Find solutions now and make the process visible. Okay? And with that, they need now to really apply the solution that they determined. But if you're going to observe the picture, you can also see their listening. So in all of this, we should make our students understand the value of listening. We should make them understand, and we should always remind them that they should start learning how to listen because they want to understand other, not to give reply. Because nowadays students would tend to listen because they want to give their arguments, they want to give their answers, they want to defend, to make their defensive statements. So teach them the value of listening, that they really need to listen so that they can understand things around them. So next we have play games to build community. It's really important to allow our learners to play, to interact, to socialize. Make the learning process so fun that they cannot forget all of the lessons that you presented to them. So set up a shout out board. So we are also aware that even as teachers, sometimes we feel so stressed, sometimes we feel so anxious, and sometimes we want to do shouting. So just like our students, they also feel that. So if you can provide a shout out board wherein they can write anything on it with without disclosing their identity, it's fine. Allow them to really express their thoughts. It will help them. And of course, learn what works for other teachers. So as teachers, we should also learn how to collaborate with other teachers. We should also ask our fellow teachers what are the best practices that they're doing. That's why their students are good. We should also ask them, and somehow we should also apply those things. So we should start collaborating, all for the betterment of our students. So we should do teamwork with our fellow teachers. We should collaborate with them, of course, with the main goal, which is to help our students become so comfortable and can really perform well in our classes. And we need to teach them mindfulness. So we need to start feeding the minds of our students with positive thoughts, inspiring information, and then motivating stories, and so on. Okay? So we should teach them mindfulness. We should feed their thoughts and their emotions. And teach a calming activity. So it's very important to let them do calming activity wherein they can just relax, no pressure, no stress. And um, when it comes, I mean, next to this, So you really need to take note of the strategies that I mentioned, because those things are really helpful to our students when it comes to SEL. And we now have wait, the next slide. Let me just check. Okay. So we also need to teach them to work toward a common goal. So you can use that example like help wanted. So you need to make them clear what's the goal of the class, what's the goal of the subject, and let them start working on it as as a group. So start establishing unity inside your classroom. Start the value of collaborating, because that's really important nowadays. Okay? So those are the strategies, some of the strategies that we can apply if we would want to use or to include social emotional learning methodology in our classes. Now, to sum up the things that I presented tonight, um, let's not forget that social and emotional learning, or SEL, provides a foundation for safe and positive learning and enhances the students' ability to succeed in school, careers, and life. We all want this to happen to our students, because that's the main reason why we accepted the job of becoming an educator, becoming a teacher, becoming a professor. So, with all the same goal that we are all sharing, all for the betterment of our students, we should consider the SEL, because it will help us provide that safe and nurturing foundation to our students. And next, we should always remember that when it comes to SEL, effective social and emotional learning programming involves coordinated classroom. So the the nature, the environment of our classroom should be very friendly to our students, to our learners, and school-wide. They can bring that to their family and even to their community. They can apply that to the practices that will help them develop, of course, the 5 key skills. So, what are the 5 core skills again? We have the self awareness, the self management, the social awareness, the relationship skills, and of course, the responsible decision making. So, we want them not to just decide on a particular thoughts. We want our students to decide responsibly and maturely, because that's what we need as educators. That's the thing that we should give our community, this kind of individuals. Okay? So, before I end my discussion, I want to leave you with the thoughts coming from Meg Rondon, PhD. She said that social emotional learning is a difference maker. And it is really a difference maker, because social emotional learning would attack the emotion of our students, would direct the emotion of our students. Because if you settle the emotion, get to know their emotions, they can really perform well in their classes. And I hope that all of us, especially the educators who are attending or watching this talk tonight, I hope that all of us will really consider the use of SEL in our teaching strategy or methodology, because this will really guide our students to become a better individual in the near future, which will be beneficial, of course, to our society and community. So again, thank you very much for attending my talk tonight. Again, I'm Roma S. Abin. Thank you so much from the Philippines.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation,
Thank
which can
you.
impact our
Thank you,
knowledge
sir.
seekers surely, ma'am. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention, ma'am. Learn and grow together with
Yes.
knowledge seekers. Ma'am. Once again, thank you so dear ma'am for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for the question and answer part. which is the most valuable part of our regular webinar. On this, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be come back for the next session, ma'am, which is the question answer part.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, after a short video, we will be come back. Ma'am, stay with us. Welcome back, ma'am.
Yes.
IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box. Our speaker is waiting for your question. IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box. Ma'am, our question from Bob. Ma'am, first question from Bobby. How emotional learning could be beneficial to students, spellical, especially in growth their actions. Ma'am, are you listening
Yes.
me?
Yes. So the question is, how can social emotional learning could be beneficial to students, especially in improving their academic performance? Okay. So when I started the discussion a while ago, I mentioned about the research that was conducted by Dorak in the year 2011, and he mentioned that with the aid of SEL, wherein it produces pro-social behavior among the students. When it comes to pro-social, they have this kindness, sharing, and empathy, which make them understand their own self. So they have the five core. So they were able to achieve the five core, which are the self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and then responsible decision making, and of course relationship skills. With all those skills that they mastered, they were able to perform well in their academic. Because if you address the emotion, the stress, the things that can make the students so anxious inside your classroom, and if you provide them a very fun and enjoyment classroom environment, they can really learn well, they can participate well, they cannot be so shy, too intimidated to participate inside their classes, and with that of course they can really perform well in your class academically. So it can really be a big help in the performance of your students when it comes to academics.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. And our
Thank
second
you.
question from Litrim Barha: what habit do you have that you think annoy
Okay.
other people?
What habits do you have that you think annoy other people? I think it's personal, right? Okay, I think it's personal questions. So, what habits that I might have that would annoy other people? I think it's the I think it's the way I give straightforward advices, because there are still a lot of people who cannot handle the straightforwardness of a person, especially in giving feedback, in giving comments, or in giving constructive criticism. So I think that's the only thing that can somehow make other people so annoyed. But relating that to the social emotional learning methodology, if you're a teacher and if you open the minds of your students to the value of giving direct but constructive comments or criticism towards other people, they will not find it so annoying, but rather they will make it feel so engaging and so motivating on their part to um to what do you call that, to accept the flaws, to accept the mistakes, but to correct it at the end. So SEL is also important in this aspect.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for your answer.
Yes. Thank you.
IGP Knowledge, please ask your question in the comment box. IGP, ask your question in the comment box. Ma'am, I hope you. No, wait, ma'am. Our question from Zian. Social learning
Social.
theory is related and not limited to
All right. Social
orient.
learning.
I
Yeah.
can see conditioning. I can see. What is the
Yeah.
most
Social.
highly
Yeah.
recommended approach?
Approach. Okay. So social learning theory is related and not limited, of course, to operant conditioning. And when it comes to that, we are talking about the educational theorists and psychologists when it comes to operant conditioning. And I mentioned also a while ago the definition. Yeah, and I mentioned also a while ago Bandura in relation to SEL. So what is now the most highly recommended approach? From the very first time that I present the topic, I make it clear that SEL is already a methodology. So, social emotional learning is a method that we can now apply and we can now use in our classes. And in relation to SEL as a methodology, as a form of methodology in delivering our classes, the strategies that I presented a while ago are also the highly suggested activities that can make our students develop or enhance their SEL. So the social emotional learning is already a method. So this is already the method that we can use in our classes. Thank you for that question.
Sorry. Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. IGP knowledge, yes, please ask your question in the comment box. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, Honorable, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day along activity with our academic and professional life. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date and a new session. Thank you, ma'am, and take care.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, IGP, and thank you, everyone.
Honorable ma'am, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this, you can, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your knowledge.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You can leave this studio, ma'am. Ma'am, you can leave this studio. IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and IGP knowledge seekers. It's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification process. After that, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Thank you. After a short video, we will start our certification. Today, some our technical problems we cannot share code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Today's some technical problems we cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Then today's some technical problems we cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this session, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Everybody. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com, then find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining, and the code is global IGP, and the code is global IGP. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Thank you. After a short video, we'll start our quiz session. Thank you. Everybody join with us. Everybody for quiz session. Thank you and enjoy quiz session. Join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Everybody join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com. Then scan this QR code for direct joining and the code is global IGP. The code is global IGP. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com. Join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com. Then find today's quiz. Please join in Slido with code. And the code is global IGP. Already 42 people joined with us for quiz competition. We will pick your name from quiz Slido, so join with your full name, which will be directly printed on quiz certificate. So please join with your full name. Everybody, please join with your full name. 42 people join us. Please join in Slido with code. Code is global. Let's start our quiz session. First option is who proposed the social learners theory? Albert Einstein and Albert Bandura. Albert Einstein and Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura is the right answer, and 76% people are right. India holding the first position. And our second question is the social learning theory is also known as first option is social cognitive theory, and second option is social mockingbird theory. Social cognitive theory is the right answer, and 98% people are right. Emily is the holding the first position. And move to the next question, and our third known question is the social learning theory focus on the idea of mocking and real modeling. Role modeling is the right answer, and 93% people are right. Emily holding the first position. Moving to the next question, and our fourth known question is research shows social emotional learning. First option is improves both academic and behaviors. Second option is expensive. Improve both academics and behaviors the right answer, and 100% people are right. Emily holding the first position. Moving the next question, and a five long question is what did Vygotsky think social learning? First option is each person thinking is paid by another person, and second option is comes from journalists. Which is the right answer? Hmm. First option is the right answer, and 90% people are right. India holding the first position. Wow. Move to the next question, and our sixth long question is which of these is a step of social learning theory? First option is add a certain fear to a UCS, and second option is put someone in a room full dolls and toys like. Add a certain fear to a UCS is the right answer, and only 16 people are right. Leah holding the first position. Congratulations. Move to the next question, and our seventh long question is who developed the social learning theory? Dorothy E. Smith and Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura is the right answer, and 93% people are right. Leah holding the first position. Moving to the next question, and our eighth long question is what are learning types? First option is visual kinesthetic actives, and second option is visual kinesthetic and auditory. Which is the right answer? Second option is the right answer, and 83% people are right. Leah holding the first position. And move to the next question, and our ninth long question is second step is part of social emotional learning and TEAL. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? True is the right answer, and 69% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our final question in this session is 10th question. Leah holding the first position, and the final question in this session is TEAL does not interrupt social emotional learning. Is it true or false? False is the right answer, and 100% people are right. Congratulations, Leah, Marybeth, hmm, Leslie, Markel, and Jimalin. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group. The name is official Facebook page and groups Institute of Global Professionals. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and Group Institute of Global Professionals. At the end moment of our session, we can say properly feeds your skill. Never stop learning cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, I just want to thank to all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participations as always. See you in the next session. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Please thank you everyone.